When dashboards define competence. You leave a meeting with 3 new dashboards to update, 2 checklists to complete, and a notification asking for a status color before the work has even moved. The cost is familiar. The system feels satisfied, but the problem stays. Visibility replaces effectiveness when the signals become the product, when updates, metrics, and approvals are treated as proof of competence, even if they are only proof of compliance. In that moment, what counts as real shifts? Not the repaired relationship, not the prevented outage, not the learning that reduced future mistakes, but the line on the chart and the timestamp on the form. This is not about bad intentions. It is about what the system rewards and what it can easily see. Measurement is a tool, but tools come with handles, and the easiest handle often becomes the one everyone grabs. Dashboards prefer what is countable. Tickets closed, minutes spent, messages sent, fields filled, deadlines met. Effectiveness, meanwhile, often lives in places that resist clean measurement. Fewer escalations because trust improved. A simpler process that makes future work unnecessary. A quiet reduction in harm that never becomes a headline because it never happens. Here's the mechanism. First, a constraint. Attention is limited. A manager, a reviewer, an auditor, even a teammate has finite time to understand what is happening. A dashboard compresses reality into a handful of indicators, and that compression is powerful. It reduces ambiguity and speeds decisions. It also creates blind spots. What cannot fit into the dashboard becomes easy to ignore, not because anyone is cruel, but because the system has narrowed the channel of perception. Next, the incentive. People learn quickly that what is measured is what is defended. If performance reviews, resource approvals, and reputations are tied to visible signals, then producing those signals becomes rational. A feedback loop forms. The more the organization relies on dashboards to allocate trust, the more workers must invest time in being legible to the dashboard. That investment reduces time available for the work itself, which then increases reliance on dashboards, because leaders feel even less able to see the work directly. The trade-off is straightforward: legibility versus learning. A system can choose to privilege clean reports and predictable categories, or it can choose to privilege experimentation and honest uncertainty, but it cannot fully have both at the same time. When the demand is show me progress weekly, work is pressured into smaller, more reportable pieces. That can help coordination. It can also punish the kind of work that requires sustained focus, patient discovery, or careful repair. Now name who benefits. Leaders benefit from reduced ambiguity and faster comparisons across teams. Stakeholders benefit from the comfort of a single number that looks like control. Some workers benefit too, those whose work naturally produces countable artifacts, or those skilled at translating messy reality into neat status updates. And name who bears the cost. People whose work is maintenance, caregiving, mediation, safety, and prevention often pay the price, because their success is the absence of visible failure. The cost also falls on users and customers who receive on-time deliverables that are thin, brittle, or misaligned. And it falls on the organization itself as an externality. Trust is replaced by surveillance, and competence is confused with performative responsiveness. This is how visibility becomes a substitute for effectiveness. The system's need to know overtakes the system's capacity to do. When dashboards define competence, dignity is quietly negotiated. A person becomes not only a worker, but a producer of signals. Agency narrows. Instead of asking, what reduces harm, the environment pressures the question, what will be seen? Responsibility shifts too. If a metric is green, accountability feels complete, even when lived experience is not. This is not merely an operational issue, it is an attention issue. What we measure repeatedly becomes what we notice, and what we notice becomes what we treat as real. Over time, relationships can thin into transaction logs. A conversation becomes a comment thread, a commitment becomes a checkbox, care becomes a response time. The system may still deliver outputs, but meaning erodes when humans are treated as instruments for producing favorable indicators. There is also a consent problem hidden inside visibility. Not all visibility is chosen. Some is demanded, extracted, or made the price of belonging. When constant updates are required, privacy becomes suspicious, and focus becomes a liability. A culture can start to treat uninterrupted work as non-compliance. This is how measurement, meant to illuminate, can become a constraint that reshapes identity. Competent becomes always available. Reliable becomes always reporting. Intent is not impact. A dashboard can be built to support coordination and still create a world where the safest path is to optimize appearances, even at the expense of effectiveness and human dignity. Notice in your own systems which actions create relief because they solve a problem, and which actions create relief because they satisfy a reporting ritual. Consider where the most respected work is the most visible work, and what kinds of labor are made invisible by design: prevention, mentoring, repair, restraint. Name the cost, not just the benefit. Name what the dashboard makes easier to see, and name what it makes easier to ignore. Name which incentives are operating, what gets rewarded, what gets delayed, what gets quietly punished. And notice where responsibility is being transferred from understanding to measurement. Where a number is asked to carry moral weight it cannot hold. This is not a call to reject measurement. It is an invitation to see what measurement is doing to attention, agency, and the boundaries of care within the system. When visibility becomes the definition of effectiveness, the chart gains authority and the lived outcome loses it. Responsibility remains, distributed, not dissolved, even when the dashboard says everything is fine.